Hello, and once again, welcome to another Monday night You Matter chat show with myself, Scott Jones, and that man, Andy Leake.
I've been practicing. How are you?
Good, mate. Yeah, yourself?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you, mate. Very, very well indeed. Actually, fact, to be honest, I had a great living in a minute.
I love it. That's a fact. I love that.
It is a fact. It is a fact.
That's a fact.
Well, fact.
Got a couple of people watching already, and we've got some first comments from Charlie.
Hello,
Charlie. So, yeah?
Isn't ciao goodbye? Isn't that ciao?
I thought so. That's why I didn't say it, because I thought if I say it, it's going to be wrong.
I'm going to Google that. I'm going to Google that and see what that means. C-I-A-O. Let's have a look.
Maybe she's come on and said bye.
No. Well, used as a greeting at meeting or parting. So it's sort of see you later. So it can be either way.
Yeah, there you go. Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah, so John's with us as well. John says, good evening all. Missed you last week. John, you missed a great show last week. We had Alan from Shed 7 on.
We did,
and the pioneer behind speed quizzing. Very interesting show.
We had Andy Leach on. Yeah.
You never let me live that down there.
No, John, you missed a blinder, to be fair, because we were at our Ultimate Professional. We had a special guest on, a guy that was in a rock indie super group from the 90s. He's also, as Scott said, the pioneer of the speed quizzing phenomena. And his name's Alan Leach, but Scott called him Andy Leach 3 times.
I say not just once, not twice, but 3.
I'm dreading when we get Neil Mandela on. That's going to kill me, that is, I tell you. I'm not looking forward to that night.
I'll leave you to that night, I think, mate.
Or Ursula Bolt, when she's on. I'm dreading that one and all. She'll be not talking about her Olympic medals. Helen Musk, we got her on soon as well, haven't we? Helen Musk talking about space travel. It's going to be a nightmare. Hey? Absolutely not. We got Gary Southgate. He's coming on to talk about the football. They're all coming on. John, you missed a blinder. Yeah, we won't mention it, but congratulations to England for getting where they did. That'll do.
Yeah, I was going to say we're not touching on it much tonight. We're going to leave it there.
No, we're not going to let it go. It's disappointing end, but fair play. Oi Savaloy's RWS. He's coming with a big sausage, you know.
Oh, there's a comment there, but I'm not going to say it. Yeah.
I'm not sponsored. Hold on. There we go.
You can't be doing this. You know, not fine.
I've got covered over. Look.
Yeah, you know, thousands of people watch us. We're bound to get a cut out.
I do.
So, Richard follows in as well. He says, "Evening, guys. Evening, Richard. Linda Woods. Good evening. I'm here with you." Linda got a bit of an apology though. I'm not wearing a jumper tonight.
No.
I've rushed and I forgot. I've just come straight in a t-shirt, so there is no stripping unless we go bare top. That's the only way we're going to do it tonight. Is if we take off the t-shirt and go bare top.
No, we could do that.
But unfortunately, can't do that before 9 o'clock. So, no boobs before 9 o'clock, unfortunately.
No moves before 9 o'clock.
No moves.
I haven't got anything to review either. We've had, it appears as both Scott and I have had pretty busy, hectic in positive ways, weekends and days. So, unfortunately, we haven't got our standard things tonight, but that's all right because we're going to waffle rubbish, can't we, instead? That's all good.
We need.
Yeah. Charlotte, Rob. What about Rob? I don't know about Rob.
I don't know who Rob is. This is probably something we did last week or mentioned last week that we forgot about. This is why we need a secretary.
We don't need a secretary. She charges too much chocolate.
I'd have to buy some fudge from Blackpool this time around. I couldn't get away with it any longer.
John has enough sheds. He doesn't need another 7. So we did there, John. See what we did there.
See, I did have the question, but I forgot to ask it. I wanted to say basically, I looked into it, and there was no band called Shed 1, Shed 2, Shed 3, Shed 4, Shed 5, or 6. So why did they go to 7?
There's got to be a way of why they were called Shed 7.
There actually was, and he did answer it on the show, actually. So, it was nice that he paid attention.
Well, I was trying to remember his name.
It was to do with the members. When they first started, I think there was like 5 of them, then 2 left and 2 more came, which made the 7. So they were called Shed 7.
Well, according to this, it was from a railway.
No, okay. I mean, I'm just sure what we said on the show last week.
Yeah, apparently on NME.com it says Rick Witter's awesome Yorkshire crew took their name from a railway shed. That doesn't seem very likely to me, but hey ho. I can't find them anyway. No, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. That's gone. It's past. Gone.
We've moved on for that now.
Yeah, moved on. We've gone to the greenhouse effect. What you done the weekend, Scott? What you done? I've been really excited on mine, so I want to just brush over mine as a recommendation as well, to be fair.
I've seen you've had a great weekend. Put mine to shame a little bit. I mean, mine just involved really a bit of football and a bit of drinking and a few breakfast. So it started off on the Friday. I started my weekend on the Friday, and with Charlie in the comments, we went for a lovely breakfast in the morning on Friday, and then I went and, as the cool guy I am, on my day off, went and did a bit of voluntary work at the Harriers.
Oh,
so just a cool guy. And then Saturday, I did a quiz Friday night.
Nice.
See, I'm cooling on, you know what I mean? I live the dream.
Not stopping.
Yeah. And then Saturday was on a stag do. So I went for breakfast again in the morning.
Yeah.
For the stag. Then they went to play foot golf. I didn't fancy that so much. So I went to watch Stareport Swifts against Stairbridge instead. And then on Saturday night, we just went down to the new Live 45 bar, came into the live music venue. Very good venue. And there was it's called the Manchester Experience.
Okay,
so it was like Stone Roses versus Britpop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all had little hats on and all that,
Yeah.
So it was a very enjoyable night there. So Andy, what did you do the weekend? Did you do anything interesting?
Went I looked at a few bricks, didn't I? I took me and the lovely RWS. We went down to look at some stones, a few old stones that I'm laying a field down at Stonehenge. And I'm not going to go on harping on about it, but all I would say is if you get the chance to go, we actually went on an experience where we paid and went into so you actually went inside the circle, which you obviously can't do these days without without permission and things. So we went and from 8 till 9 p.m. So pretty much sunset, not full sunset because it was about 20 minutes later. We were inside the circle of Stonehenge with a group of about 15 people. Absolutely amazing. If not from a spiritual point of view, it's just fascinating how there's just 1,000 questions that you get, to be honest, being in there. And there's a great little museum and all that sort of stuff. And the whole area of Wiltshire is just full of Neolithic history, and it's just raises so many questions, about how did they, why did they, what's it all about. Really, really fascinating weekend. We plan to go again to that area because there's so much more to see down there. Yeah, so wonderful. Thank you, Scott. Highly recommend the trip into Stonehenge if you've never been, just to see one of the world's greatest. To think that Stonehenge was built before the Colosseum, before Easter Island, before Machu Picchu, and built the same time as the pyramids. So it's just... Yeah.
So it's weird to think about that, isn't it? Because, stuff like Machu Picchu and all that, people travel, all the 1,000 miles to go and view it and be part of it. Yeah, there's actually something that's older and got more sort of heritage to it just down the road.
Yeah,
and I mean, I've never been to Stonehenge to see it.
It's just John just saying ahead of the stone. The only 2 facts there are the fact that the circle is aligned to the summer solstice and the winter solstice. That's the only 2 facts. Everything else about the site is pretty much guesswork, if you like. How did they get the stones there? Because they came from Wales, some of the stones. The best guesses are that they came on rolling logs, where they just kept moving logs and rolled them. They're 40, 50 tons, some of these things, 200 tons. They're huge things. And then they get them up to 6, 7 meters high by stacking logs. And then on the top, you've got on the top of I'm going now. Look at me now. Look what's happened. It just blew my mind. So you've got these massive stones, and on the top they've got that there. it was like a lump. But that lump isn't on top like concrete, it's carved. So all that extra stuff is chipped away by hand to leave that lump. And then in the one that goes on the top, there's holes and it just sits on the top. Now, bear in mind, this is like 5,000 years ago.
That's insane, isn't it? I mean,
like chipped away, that's probably 2 foot high, that little thing. But the stone is 4 foot deep and it's just solid sarsen stone. It's solid. They've done that by hand and just left that lump to make it like a fit like that with the stone on the top. It's just it just blows your mind. Absolutely blows your mind.
It's weird, because like you look at stuff like the pyramids as well, and you think like, you know, if someone said to you in the Stone Age day, like, "Hey, do you ever sit in the Stone Age?" Hey, but if you were, if someone wanted to build the pyramids, you'd think that's a big task.
Mm.
But so how big was it for them back in the day? Like same thing with like the Stonehenge, you know. I mean, these days, you know, you think, oh, you'd throw it in the back of a lorry and drive it from Wales. But back then, like, who saw that and thought, I know what we'll do. We'll move that all the way to Wiltshire.
Exactly. I said that if there was just, when you go, whether it's, as I say, from a spiritual point of view or just because it's a massive part of the world's heritage, it just raises so many questions that can never probably be answered. You know, probably never, ever be answered. And it's just fascinating that the whole of that area, Amesbury, Wiltshire, and all that, is all almost like 2 miles up the road. There's a wood henge, which is wooden posts, or was wooden posts. They've now been marked by concrete posts. And in just next to them, there's a great big area that was the town they all lived in and feasted in, the people that probably built Stonehenge. And it's quite eerie at times as well. We went into some tombs that are in the hills that have been excavated, tombs that were built 5,000 years ago, and they're now excavating. You can go into some little compartments. It's just a bit surreal. It's just, you know, that these people lived there 5,000 years ago, and we'll know. The only people that know why that's there are the people that put it there.
It's an incredible thing. And John says Stonehenge is wonderful. We should get a coach trip for a long day out. But if we take a coach trip, I know of a good tour guide who knows everything about Stonehenge.
You do? Yeah, well, no, to be fair, I get RWS to do it all because she'd take it from a spiritual aspect as well. It's just got so much meaning. And I see Charlotte's been to the summer solstice there. I know the winter solstice is the more important one, but either of those, because it's just amazing how it's set up. Bearing in mind, they didn't have time. They only worked in seasons. That you get the winter solstice, sun comes through the summer solstice comes through the longest day, shortest day, and it hits the same stone. It comes through 2 pillars, or trilithons as they're called, and hits the same stone. Yet they had no clocks, no computers. It's a circle. It's just mental. It just I can't compute it because I'm not. It just blows my mind, to be honest.
It just makes you think that they probably understood more what was going on in the world than we do. Like we just kind of plod through it, and we've got all our technology now. But when you look back at how like years ago people had these like spiritual things, and how things like you said, like the sun aligning up with certain areas, it was like they made it for a reason. There, there's got to be a reason why they moved all the stones from Wales all the way to Wiltshire.
Absolutely, but the only people that will ever know those that put it there, like I say, it's just the thought of they didn't have clocks. They lived, they look when the sun goes down, we've got to bring the animals in. When the sun goes up, we've got to put the animals back out. That's how their world was, and it's just amazing to think that it just is. I can't talk enough about it, to be honest, because it's amazing place. Maybe
we could have a separate show in a week where Andy talks Stonehenge.
Yeah, Andy talks Stonehenge. Yeah, bore everybody to death. Yeah.
Well, I think so. Craig was with us as well. Craig Murphy, welcome to the show. I actually saw that Craig, we might tell us a bit more about it, was like a Euro 2020 hero or something like that, where his picture was shown in one of the sort of fan things. I think he was dressed as one of the lions, and there was like 3 lions there. And he got tweeted back to say that he was one of the heroes, and that he was up on the wall. So I think you might be able to give us a bit more information on that, because I don't really know much about it. I just saw it on Facebook. I'm just jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah. If you've got any information about why you was on the telly, or you made the fan zone board in London.
There we go.
What's W made, Craig? What's that mean? W made?
I think it was meant to be remade, and it went wrong.
Yeah. John said he could write a song. Didn't have a lovely day the day we went to Stonehenge. Yeah, he certainly could. Needs more than a day. We're going back down there, to be fair. We need more than a day. We got a would you rather, Scott, from your man.
We have. The weird thing is, right, I was speaking to Matty literally probably about 2 minutes before we came on the show. And I said to him, have you got your would you rather ready for us? And he said, not yet, but I'll think of it by the time. In about 5 minutes, he's come up with a would you rather. So.
And what is it?
So, evening fine men, and me and Andy, of course. Would you rather have to wear the same clothes every day for a year, unders and all, without washing them, or be legally allowed to walk around naked for 6 months and always be clean?
I've got to be honest, for no reason other than it be in touch with going back to the Stonehenge thing, really. I think I'd do the naked one. It wouldn't be a great sight, but that's not what the question is. I think I'd go for the naked one.
Okay, so you would...
Who's that Starlight geezer?
I don't know, I've just blocked him.
Yeah,
they're going on about Rashford. We're not having that on here.
No, we're
not. So would I have to... I mean, I wouldn't like walking around like naked, to be honest. I mean, I like being naked. I don't like walking around in front of everyone. But I couldn't be walking around in the same clothes every day for a year without washing. So yeah, I'd have to go naked. Charlie is also going for naked.
Stop being semantics, RWS, and just answer the question.
Craig said, so we're going back to the Euro thing. So I tweeted the last leg program on Channel 4, then did a hashtag Euro 2020. They contacted me saying they loved the photo and their show on their fanzine board in London. And they tweeted it as a Euro 2020 hero. There we go. Craig Murphy, our very own Euro 2020 hero. I mean, that's great, Craig, but you're also up against here like an actual, lockdown hero as well. So
yeah, got a certificate and everything on, and obviously RWS has got it's called George's Cross as well. She's got George Cross for being NHS.
Yeah, I got a little badge for walking up the big one the other week.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did got a badge. Yeah, got a 50-meter swimming badge as well. Yeah. What's your best award? There you go. We'll have that going on in the background. What is your favourite award, medal, badge that you received in your life? Which one are you most proud of? Your most proudest moment, certificate, badge? You've got to receive something for it. What is your proudest moment you've had in our short, wonderful lives that we've all had so far? There's a question to be working on in the background. Linda, she said she'd be naked if it was the warm months. If not, she would wash her clothes. Or if not, I wouldn't wash my clothes. Craig says we're heroes in my book. Cheers, Craig.
I think we're in a bit of a discussion between RWS and Mr. Paddock here, where he says legally allowed was to assure you that you won't get arrested for being nude in public. You must choose.
Yeah, she's just being semantic.
Yeah.
Semantic, pedantic, whatever the word is, I don't know. Okay, so there's another question for you. What's your proudest moment, proudest award? Cycling proficiency. What about you, Scott? You've got to have won some awards in your time.
Is it sort of like any sort of award?
Yeah, you could be at school, you could be at Cub Scouts, you could be at Brownies, you could be at local church group, I don't know, whatever. It's got to have been a certificate, a badge, or something tangible.
Okay. I mean, I've got one just the other side of the room. If you can hold the fort for 30 seconds, I'll go and grab it.
Leave it with Leaky. I'm just looking at my beard, looking how grown it's got these days. So Scott's gone off to show us his award. What else have you guys got? Have you ever won anything, not won anything, or been rewarded with something that you're really, really proud of? It can be absolutely anything. Obviously, it doesn't have to be anything massive. Cycling proficiency. I always remember getting my cycling proficiency badge. Got a croaky throat from the sporting event last night, I noticed. Scott's back with his. Let's see what Scott's got.
So this, I mean, it might sound a bit sad to some people. And And Matty Paddock was part of the reason why I got this award. But this is my little trophy that I'm proud of. And it is for the KHFC 2015-16 season Clubman of the Year.
No. Look at that. So what did you do through that? Was that for all your MCing?
Just a lot of brown nosing and stuff like that, really. And sucking up to people. And eventually it paid off. I got the award.
Nice.
So,
that's pretty.
That's what I mean. I've not really achieved that much in my life, but apart from that, really.
It doesn't have to be measured by a certificate, mate. You've achieved loads in your life. You've achieved just because it hasn't got a certificate and a badge next to it doesn't mean you haven't achieved, Scott. Come on, mate. This is just a bit of banter. John reads his graduation certificate when I completed the School for Social Enterprise course in 2016. Congratulations, John, on that.
Yeah, well done, John.
RWS, my university nursing diploma, 3 years, hard years of being a student, but worth it. And that's amazing too. Thank you, RWS, for everything you do. It's amazing in all these things that I think we just take for granted. The Hobbit book Linda Woods had for coming first in an English exam last year at Harry Cheshire, and my medal for completing the Walk for Life for charity. Get you, Linda. Woohoo! The Hobbit book. Right?
Trumping everyone.
Yeah.
So Craig Murphy had a certificate for swimming underwater to retrieve the rubber brick at the bottom of the pool. Yeah. Probably only certificate he ever got.
Yeah.
That was the thing back in the day, wasn't it?
Pajamas on. You did pajamas on as well. Yeah.
I remember having to go swim with I think it was first school or middle school, and it was like them that go to the deep end and they drop something in and you have to swim to the bottom. But when you were a kid, it felt like I was swimming for miles down there.
Yeah, it was. And you have to get through the ring. Do you remember that swim through a ring sometimes while through the hoop?
Yeah.
As well, arms on and get the big brick.
I would just get I'd always hit something or kick it or something. Accidentally. Yeah. Never went through smoothly. Charlie? She's got awarded honorary toys.
I was in the Tesco store down in the Hobbit area the other day. Talking of the Hobbit, I was in a Tesco store in Hobbit Land the other day. Yep, and the alarm went off because there was something unusual in the Baggins area. Come on.
There we go. That's right. So Charlie got awarded honorary toys at Toy Story Land, and they got fast passed for all the rides.
Elaborate. Yeah. Honorary toys.
Also, I want to know though, why did you get awarded them? You told us that you won, but you're not told us what for.
Yeah.
I mean, and to me, I always think if someone's telling you they've done something, but they're not telling you the details, there's a reason why.
Stolen, probably.
Wet t-shirt competition.
Yeah. Come on, Charlie. What were you awarded honorary toys? And what were those toys? Because I'm unsure. Best motorcycle at a show. What sort of motorbike was it, Richard? Was it like a sort of Harley type of thing, or was it what sort of motorbike was it? Old bike, vintage? Best motorcycle at a show. What else we got? Who else has had something they're proud of? Good evening, Liam.
Good evening, Liam. Thanks for joining us. So, Liam, I'm actually trying to turn into a Harriers fan. He's into his football, and he's got his first season ticket. Well, he had it last year, but couldn't go. So he got his first season ticket at the Harriers. So before we know it, Liam, big fan.
Before you know it, Liam. I think my proudest moment in recent times has probably been doing the Ironman triathlon back in 2012. That was a badge, a medal for that, and a coat, and you got all sorts for completing that. Lambretta. It could have been.
So I just want to go back to that. Those challenges, they're tough. They're tough challenges.
The Ironman.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I'd always wanted to do it since I was a kid, and I did a few triathlons and then just booked it. Bolton, UK Bolton Triathlon 2012. Yeah, it was. Now it's 10 years. I did it in 14 hours, 14 minutes and 39 seconds, according to my medal.
14 minutes?
14 hours, 14 minutes, 39 seconds.
I just said 14 minutes and I was like, what? That's insane.
No, yeah. No, I think the world record's about 7.5. It's ridiculously quick.
Yeah.
So Harley
Davidson Sportster 48 modern bike. I mean, I hope that means something to you because I just recognise the words Harley Davidson there.
Yeah. So is that best show because of its condition? Richard, you cleaned it. Are you a bit of a pristine cleaning freak, are you, when it comes to the motorbike?
So we heard back from Charlie. Says it was at Disney World where her kids were dressed awesome, if she said so herself, as Barbie and Woody, and we had themed outfits of Toy Story. We cheered for everyone doing the Toy Soldier challenge, even though Reggie was clearly the best. That's her little lad, Reggie. And the cast members grabbed us after and awarded us an honorary toys for the day. So I think they became honorary toys. So they were basically like the toys from Toy Story, I think.
Right,
and then that gave them like access to like VIP access around the park.
Okay. That's better, isn't it, Charlotte? See, I don't want a PA that can't elaborate and give us the full details and factual and just waffle. That's better.
Charlie was a great PA. Every penny we spent on her.
It wasn't a Lambretta, John. No, it was obviously the opposite end of the spectrum from the Lambretta. Craig Murphy's told us a lie. Oh, we had another certificate.
So we had a certificate for completing the 10K Santa Fun Run with his brother-in-law, raising money for Kemp Hospice. Great work, Craig. Massive achievement for me, as this body wasn't built to run. Mate, I'm with you on that. I've not got a body that's... Mine's built for thinking and drinking, not for sports.
That's pretty impressive, Scott. Thinking and drinking. I like that.
I'll be honest, I came with that on the spot as well.
Did you?
Yeah, mate.
Just proves the point then, doesn't it?
Just the sort of vibes I'm throwing down, you know what I mean?
Proves the point. It is made for thinking and drinking. Shame you didn't do it and then take a swig of lager or whatever your chosen tipple is.
I'm more of a vodka man. I'm not. That's true. I don't really drink that much. So, like, start down the stag do, I struggled a little bit.
So the stag do was in Kiddie then, obviously, didn't he? Wasn't like going somewhere or anything like that.
No, I mean, with times like it is, we didn't really want to travel at the moment, so we just stuck to a local ground. But it was a great night. If anybody saw a cheerleader walking down the middle of the ring road going from Station Hill to the bus station island, then that was the stag. So we dressed him as a cheerleader and we got him to walk down the middle with his pom-poms.
Nice. Did he make it without getting hit by a car, I assume? We
did. Oh, it was all safe. We checked for cars. There was nothing around. We got him over across the middle. It was all done safely.
Well done. With high vises and everything.
High vis, the lollipop stick and everything. Walking him across. Nice. That was my job. I was the lollipop man.
Nice. You make a good lollipop man, to be fair.
Cheers, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Please know if I ever come out of my job, I know what I can go into.
It's where the future lies. To be fair, out up here we used to have a lollipop lady at the local school up by me, but I put an idea in the suggestions box, so they knocked down the school and built it on the other side of the road. That way, no one's now got to cross. So it's just saved, the salaries of a lollipop lady, because it just made sense. I said, well, why are you employing a lollipop lady when you could just build the school on the other side of the road and no one's got to cross then, have they? So it just made sense. It saved them $4,000 a year, I think, in lollipop lady salary.
This is why, mate, you need to be Prime Minister.
This is why I need to be Prime Minister. There's a lot of reasons I need to be Prime Minister. And I think building schools on the opposite side of the roads to where they are now would save the education authorities. I'm guessing, I have no idea how much a lollipop lady earns, but let's go for a $4,000 a year figure. Pro rata, obviously, because there's a lot of holidays. That's a big saving for the education authorities. Just an idea. I'll just throw it out there. Yeah?
Absolutely coming up with groundbreaking ideas, mate.
Groundbreaking. They need to think these through before they build these places. You could do away with all sorts of crossings if you just built stuff on the other side of the road. There's so many things you could do away with. Black and white.
Turn it into boarding schools, though. There we go.
Yeah.
No one has to leave, no one has to arrive. Don't need crossings.
No need crossings. It's just there's so many things we could save on. Efficiency, it'd be more efficient, safer for parents. You could let your kids walk to school on their own when they were 5 instead of when they were 13. It's just it'd be so much safer for everybody.
Charlie's saying that Andy for mayor of Kidderminster.
Yeah, I have got mayor potential, and I'd look good in a car with a flag on the front. I think I'd look great in that. And obviously, I'd be excited to get my shopping.
I would love to see you wearing all the big drapes and the
I'd look like Mr. T.
Do you get like? Do you still get a little? Do you get a little staff of it? I can't remember. Do you
I
want
think-
like?
Yeah, well, I mean, you should have to. Don't they get the roller anymore with the flag on the front? I want that. I don't want any
You get a car with the driver, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I should get that, shouldn't I? Minimum. I'm a lockdown hero.
I mean, if anything, mate, I'd be a driver.
Yeah, I'm a lockdown hero, and my girlfriend's got a George Cross. What more? We are like socialites extraordinaire.
I mean, when people say to me, like, if you get into a relationship, it would be your heroes. I said, well, I'd want to be like Andy and RWS.
Yeah,
because they are like, one's a lockdown hero and one's got a George Cross. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just absolutely
absolute goals, mate.
It is goals. It's feels and goals. What's John saying?
He's saying, I saw 3 men on one bike cycling from Land's End to John O'Groats today, riding with an escort. Escort van. Sorry. Up north on the A449. Apparently an attempt at a world record. Passed them down by the Old Reindeer pub, which is now a shop.
Yeah, by the Chinese. Oh, okay. Cycling from London, John O'Groats on a what's it called? What's a tandem's two? So what's 3-seater called? Tridem.
It is a Tridem, I think. Actually, now you've said it. Yeah.
Is it a Tridem?
See if I can find out. But yeah, I think you've got it right there. That's just actually reminding me of something that I also did years ago. I mean, it's probably been beaten now. But yeah, a 3-person bike is called a tandem bike.
3-person?
And anytime you ride a bike that has more than 2 or more people on it, it was referred to as a tandem. So 2 or more is always a tandem, apparently.
Well, there you go. I thought okay. Learned something new.
So saying this, it's just reminding me. When I was like 17, I was part of this thing where we rode a bike from I did it from Stairport into Kiddu. But there was there was other stages, and it come from like Southampton way through the country or something like that. But it had like 24 people on one bike
at the same time.
Yeah, and not a long one though. It was like so many back and so many rows.
And you rode it.
Yeah, I was part of the team.
And that was a world record, was it?
It was something like, it was to break a world record at the time, but I'm guessing that something's been done since. It was like I think it was the most people to ride one bike.
Wow. And you were on that world record?
I was on there somewhere. But like I never ever got anything official to say I'd done it. So
doesn't matter, you were part of it. You know Norris McGuirter.
I don't know who Norris McGuirter is.
Oh, there used to be a program called Record Breakers, and it was all about Guinness World, and Norris McGuirter was the Roy Castle and Norris McGuirter were the hosts.
I know Roy Castle.
Yeah. Roy Castle, he was always breaking records. He got told he'd live for 2 more weeks, and he said he could do it in 1. It was just amazing. He was just always about the goals.
Wow, I can't believe you went there. I mean, I broke a record once, and my mum was furious because she said it was her favourite song.
It's just a nightmare in it. Yes, it's a nightmare in it.
No, she wasn't happy with me.
I saw 2 blokes carrying a casket, talking of, while I'm on the subject of dying, a casket carrying up the 449 the other day on the shoulder, 4 blokes, 1 on each corner. Before they'd lost the plot. Unbelievable. Oh. Hey, come on, every day. Was it a Mark 1 Escort?
Sometimes I wonder where you get these from.
I wonder where I get them from sometimes.
But what we want to hear though, Andy, is, I mean, we've told a lot of the stories about ourselves over the weekend and what things we've done. What did you guys do over the weekend? Let us know. Any fun things that went on. Anything to do with we had a bit of bad thing with football last night, didn't go our way, but a lot of good's come from it. So has anything good come from the football last couple of weeks? Watching it, the Denmark game, leading up to the final. Did you meet new friends through football? Anything else has happened?
Did you like Liverpool?
Back to your joke, I think there he says, were they looking for the dead centre of town?
Yeah, we're here. They're looking for the dead centre of town, yeah. Dead centre of town. Hey.
Yeah, let us know any stories. It doesn't have to be football related. It could be anything that's happened to you, anything you've done, anything you've achieved, something funny that's happened to someone.
anything good that's happened in the last couple of weeks or last week while we've last been on.
So while we're waiting for people to put their stories in, because I'm expecting loads. Oh, there we go. RWS says, I saw Magna Carta.
Yeah, we did. Saw the Magna Carta. That's just a mad document as well. Yeah, another story there. Just crazy.
So, I mean, I've got something to moan about. So, do you want to talk about Magna Carta, or do you want me to moan?
No, the Magna Carta, there's just four living copies, so to speak, and it's just one parchment bit of paper in Salisbury Cathedral, which, by the way, I'm not religious, but Salisbury Cathedral is an amazing building. Absolutely amazing. But the Magna Carta, one of the 4 copies is in there. The other 3 are scattered around Britain in various museums. But it's it's one parchment of paper, and the writing is so tiny. And there's 63 clauses on there that were written back in whenever it was, 4,000, whatever, 1400s or whatever it was written. And it was all about land ownership, and a widow couldn't have the money, and all these sorts of clauses. Out of those 63 clauses, which are still used in courts today for defending and prosecuting, 4 of them are still legal rights or wrongs, depending on which side of the world you're coming from. So it's a really hugely important document. Yeah, it's not a copy. Sorry, when I say copy, I mean there's 4 of the
originals.
4 originals, and they're the ones. Yeah, so when I say copy, there's 4 originals, and we saw one of them. It's in a case you can't take photographs. It's in a darkened room, and a light comes on when you go in, because obviously it's a very, very important document in the world, and it's still in use as it can still be cited as for prosecution and defence in the laws of our land. Very, very interesting, but you can't read it. It's so tiny, and obviously in medieval languages, it's so tiny. How they wrote it. It's just, but they wrote it small because paper was so hard to get, obviously, and parchment and things. But yeah, again, so we saw the Magna Carta, which again is for those of you who are interested, it's a very, very important document in the world, not just in whatever.
Well, I mean, what you were saying, that some good news came in. I've got a new work colleague by the look of it. Liam has got himself a job at Kidderminster College. And he starts in September. So Liam, look forward to working with you.
Yeah, he's the new IT manager apparently, Scott. I don't know what that's about, mate. I don't want to say anything, but yeah,
I've heard the current ones are not very good. So
yeah, do you want to tell me what it is? Because he doesn't know if you know yet.
I've had hints, but I keep taking things off my desk and putting them in boxes.
They keep unplugging you, but don't turn you back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because I'm rubbish, I don't know to turn it back on myself. So
yeah. What are you doing, Liam? What are you doing at Kidderminster College? What's your role there?
Yeah, let us know, Liam, what you're doing. And there were 17 originals of the Magna Carta when it was made in 1215, apparently.
It was. Yeah, there's just the 4 now. I think there's a British Museum. There's 2 in London. The one at Salisbury Cathedral, I can't remember where the other one was, but the one in London was damaged in the fire. But yeah, it's just a really important document. Can't make head nor tail of it. It's all printed out in modern English for you, obviously on the side of the little hut thing. But as a document, it's obviously hugely important. So to get to see that was a privilege as well.
So I know which role Liam's doing. Yeah, he's a new business admin apprentice.
Ah, nice. Well done, Liam. Congratulations.
Be a good role and a good team you'll be working with there, Liam. So yeah, fantastic stuff. But Liam, I know you got good news, and we're all with you. Congratulations on that. But I am going to moan about something different, but I'm going to bring the tone down with a moan.
Go on then.
So one thing, right? So when I was away in Blackpool, and it was quite busy, one thing that really annoyed me, and it happens all the time, that is, you get your pedestrian crossings, and you walk up to a pedestrian crossing, and there's no one there, right? And first of all, I think, why didn't they just build the building on this side of the road and I wouldn't have to cross, right?
Yeah.
But they haven't, so I have to cross. And I press the button, and it comes up, wait, right? And I'm stood next to it. Then other people come who are also going to cross the road, who then walk up to the button that I'm stood next to, that I've been stood next to for about a minute, and press it as if I've just stood there and not pressed it anyway. Like, what? What is that about?
Is that the one where it's got white illuminated?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm stood next to the button as well. So they're walking up as if oh no, he stood there, but I don't think he's pressed the button. I think he just stood there waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, what do they think I'm some sort of loon or something?
Well,
just stood at the road waiting.
I know exactly what you mean, but I think the day you don't press the button will be the day you meet the oddball that hasn't pressed the button, and you'll all be stood there. Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, because it was like really busy, like someone would come up and try it, and they'd press it, and then someone else will come after them, and they'd press it, and everyone coming up has pressed it, thinking, "Oh, there's 17 people in front of me," but I'm not sure if any of them's pressed it.
So, okay, here's a question off that one then, Scott. Off the back, so I get you. I'm with you on that. If the traffic clears before your light goes to green, are you crossing?
I am. I'm that person that crosses, and then I mean,
do you cross and keep your head down and keep walking?
No, I look the other way, mate. I can't face them. Like, but the worst part is when you do it, and there's like, it wouldn't be too bad at Blackpool. There's like loads of people queuing every time to cross the road. But you know when you do it and there's no one else around, and then you cross the road, you're just walking on the street, and you hear the like to say the green man's come on, and you just like keep walking, just keep walking.
They know it's you though. They know it's you.
Oh, they know it's me.
Yeah.
I just can't make eye contact with them. And you hear them coming down the road after because they've turned right. They're coming down your road.
Yeah.
And you just they're going to be looking at you, just like look at a wall, like. Or classic is getting your phone out and be like pretending you're texting.
In case you can have someone like give you pedestrian crossing rage. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get that a lot. Pedestrian crossing rage.
Yeah, it sounds like you do, to be fair.
It's one of those things that annoys me. That's why That's why I'm with you, mate. I'm building things on the right side of the road.
Yeah. Save all this crossing business.
Yeah, we'll have to worry about it.
And the kids that do it, you see people do it as they're walking past it who've got no intention to cross.
Yeah, as a kid, that was me.
Yeah, got no intention to cross.
So what I used to do as a kid, it's annoying, and well, not annoying, but it's like it's annoying. Is when I used to walk home from school, we used to cross on the crossroads. So you'd have like pedestrian crossing here, and then like one there. So we'd press it, and it would go off. We'd cross. Then as we were walking home, walking past the next set, we'd press them as well, and then run off.
Yeah, see, just horrible kids, weren't you? Vile.
Yeah, kids will be kids, mate. You know what I mean? There's a laugh. We've all moved on from it.
You still do it though, don't you?
Yeah,
I think that's a great thing with the crossing. I'm with you with the crossing thing. Why do people keep pressing it? Like you haven't. I'm with you.
Here, crazy one. He says, "What about when you're waiting at the crossing after pressing the button, then people carry on and cross before the green man appears and start to traffic dodge?" Yeah. I mean that's. I mean, crossing when it's quiet is one thing, and leaving the red man to the green man's going for someone else. But dodging in between traffic when it's already when you can wait.
In America, for some of you may know, but in America, when I was over there, you cannot cross. You can't if you cross on a red thing, you can get done and fined for it. You cannot cross on a red thing. You'll know when you went to Vegas, because you think Sam's like, oh come on, it's cross, and you're like, no, people would stop you. You can get done.
There's also the thing of I think if you cross and it's not a like actual crossing, you can get them back. It's called jaywalking, isn't it? When you do stuff like that. Yeah,
it's really quite strict. I think they can. Yeah, it was quite a thing. I didn't think it was. I thought whatever, but it is quite a quite a thing. Crossing on a red pedestrian. That's a red hand, isn't it? And they give you a second 5-10 countdown. Yeah. But if you cross outside of that or on a non, like you say, just cross the road, you can get done for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you lived here and then like your favourite coffee shop is there, you've got to like walk down the road to the crossing to come back again.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
How annoying.
Yeah, very annoying, isn't it?
Especially when you stood there waiting and then people are coming up and pressing the button that you've already pressed. Just adds to the anger, doesn't it? You're angry because you have to walk. Then they question whether you know how to press the button. You're like, I know how to press the button. You know what I mean?
Well, you've also, but you're saving it. It's cancelling out the embarrassment of crossing when the traffic's cleared because you can't. So even if the traffic clears, you still can't cross. So you're saving that embarrassment. It sort of swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you got a little bit, but I still want to knock the person out who's pressed the button next to me. But see, again, in America, they don't really have the buttons, do they? It comes on green automatically, like it goes from red to green.
Yeah, it's all automatic, isn't it? It's all automated. It's like sensors, isn't it, in the thing?
Yeah. So anybody else got anything they want to moan about? Because I'm happy to moan. I'm a bit of a moany person.
What else you got to moan about, Scott? Go on then. What else you got to moan about? It's very quiet in the chat tonight, I noted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of something I can moan because I'm sure there's loads of stuff. I mean,
let's give them a bit of free will. We like to keep things positive on here, but who's got a bit of light-hearted moaning that they'd like to talk about?
So if Matty Paddock is still on, he was furious the other day because I've got a habit of sending pictures of my breakfast now every time I have a breakfast. And the person who'd done my breakfast for me, it was one I had out, and the beans had been put next to the tomatoes and they'd run into each other.
Oh.
And he had a massive moan at me for that. He was not happy.
No.
He was happy the beans and tomatoes had been put together.
I think that's quite a common one. I've heard that one before, and I don't know Matty, so it won't have been from Matty, but I've heard that one before about the eggs can't run into the beans and all that. I've heard people get quite funny about that.
Yeah, so that's something he wasn't happy about, so I've had that moan for him.
Yeah, but he's welcome to elaborate if he'd like to. But yeah, if you've got any light-hearted moans, I say light-hearted because we don't want to lower the tone to misery.
Well, I thought Lou was coming with a little moan then, and she's got to go.
Yeah, she has got to go. Good night, Lou. Thanks for joining us.
I might see you when I'm hanging outside your house at some point because I'll do that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
If you know, you know. If you don't, then you think I'm a weird stalker. Either way.
Yeah, look, 4G. Now, is there any technical people on here? I'm sure RWS could elaborate on this one, but she's going to type it, so I will. 4G never works. Never works. If my phone says 4G, and we had this problem a lot down in Wiltshire, it was going to 4G a lot. You couldn't get signal. You couldn't send photos. You couldn't send text messages, whatever. It's just, and I've been in the car O2 shop where I get my phone from and asked them, why doesn't 4G work? And the guy said it's because it's looking for the internet. So you have to turn your internet off when 4G comes up. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Because we're out in the street or wherever. Yeah. 4G at home, my Wi-Fi work. But I did it anyway, because that's what he told me to do. So I'll go out in the street, 4G come on, and I'll go into my settings, turn off Wi-Fi, so stop it looking for Wi-Fi. But that was a load of rubbish as well. So I've never had a 4G work of anything.
The only way I'd say that would work is if you're actually connected to a Wi-Fi that was really slow. Because then it uses the Wi-Fi instead of the 4G.
Yeah.
But actually, most phones now actually have a thing on them where if the 4G is faster than the Wi-Fi, it will use 4G instead of Wi-Fi, even if you're connected to it.
You can't turn off 4G, can you? Because we got 4G a lot down in Wiltshire, and it was just like when you got back to 3G, it was fine. And when we got back to the hotel, it was fine, obviously on Wi-Fi. But
no
4G,
you can turn off your mobile data, but it shuts off all of them.
Yeah.
But it also just depends on the area. Like it might just be that 4G down where you were, but there's not that many masts for it, and the system's not that good. But it's all about 5G now, no? You know what I mean? Don't be tight. Get yourself a new phone with 5G enabled.
I just want a phone that rings. I don't need anything else anymore. I've gone very backward and old school in my last 12, 18 months. So
I'm just looking at Liam as saying 4G is much better than GPRS that I used to use. It's been a while since I've heard of GPRS, if I'm honest.
And we can fly a helicopter on Mars. I mean, RWS is right again there.
Yeah, I mean, 4G is probably great on Mars if you can get we're flying stuff around there. So get on Mars, seeing a better signal. John says the best thing to put on baked beans is salad cream. I wrote into the Malcolm Boyden show on Hereford and Worcester Radio, and the response was amazing. Everyone said horrible, but I love it. My moan, why do people moan about something they have never tried?
Good point.
I kind of get where you're going with that.
I don't moan about things I've never tried. I just say no, and people go, well, "Why don't you want to try it?" Well, I don't want to try it. I don't. That's my moan is just refusing to try it, but I don't moan about it. Yeah.
See, I like to say that I more or less like to try everything once that someone suggests. I don't like to say no.
Okay.
So, John, challenge accepted. I will try put in salad cream and baked beans together. So put salad cream onto baked beans. So when you say put it on, am I mushing it up? Am I cooking it together? Or am I just putting baked beans on a plate and then just putting loads of salad cream on top?
Could you clarify?
I'll try it and I'll let you know honest opinion on it next week.
I've just had an email through, Scott. Very interesting email. This will fascinate you. The Devon and Cornwall Music Festival has been cancelled in August. Apparently, they've got 2 bands that they wanted to put on first slot, like headline slot, and they couldn't decide which was to go first, the Cream or the Jam. So they had to cancel the festival altogether.
Oh, I knew there was a joke in there.
That's very similar to the baked beans and salad cream, I feel.
Do you see these things and just like try and think of jokes around them?
No, that one, I've got to be honest, that one was given to me last week by a colleague. Yeah, that one was given. It did make me chuckle. In fact, while we were in Stonehenge, we did have a cream tea, so I sent him some pictures.
Right. So Craig has come up with a bit of a story. He says, talking of beans, we have a bit of a debate in my team at work. On a jack potato, if you have cheese and beans, which do you put on the potato first? I always say beans, then cheese. But the chap on my team says cheese first, then beans. Do you know what? This is a tough one because normally the cheese would go on top of beans, wouldn't it? Like you generally, if you have beans and cheese on a plate, you put your beans down, you put cheese on top. Or if you're cooking them, you put your beans in and then your cheese on top. So normally I'd say beans first and then cheese. But with a jack potato, the cheese has got to go on the potato, surely.
Well, I'm not a fan of melted cheese, so the cheese wouldn't come into an equation for me. I don't like melted cheese, but don't ask me why. I just don't. And I have tried it, by the way, John. I have tried it. I just don't like melted cheese. Cheese I like, but melted not. There you go. But I would say, if I have to have an opinion on it, I would say the beans, then the cheese in this instance.
Okay.
But I wouldn't do it. But I would say that's mine.
Yeah. That'd be my normal go-to, but on the potato, I think it changes the rules a little bit. But RWS says to Craig, the beans first, then the cheese melts on top.
That makes sense to me.
See, that's the way I would normally do it. But with a jack potato, it also can make sense for the cheese to be melting on the potato as well, because it will melt on the hot potato.
I had a good mate called Spud, because he'd always got his jacket on. But
weirdly, though, someone was up with a stag do I met on Saturday night was called Spud. That's not even great. And weirdly, though, he did have a jacket.
He would have a jacket on, yeah.
And I never even clicked into it. I've missed a golden opportunity for a bit of
yeah, I'll do the jokes. John's given you your instructions.
Yeah, so he says to do the toast first, then microwave the beans, put beans on top of the toast, then squirt salad cream all over them. It doesn't mix in as you cut it, but start as a line. Okay, I'll try it. Beans on toast
with salad cream.
With salad cream on top.
That sounds like a plan.
I'm with you there, John. I'll give it a try, and we'll let you know.
It's pretty impressive. I'm looking forward to that review for next Monday. You'll have to do out Scotty reviews for next Monday.
What I might do is just record myself eating it.
You could do that.
And then we can play that.
Yeah.
So then if I like throw up on it, you'll see me throw up.
That'd be smashing. That'd be great Monday night viewing.
It's great telly, isn't it? Great.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Telly 7:30 till 8:30. Watch Scott squeaking his guts up over salad cream and baked beans.
Are you having chips? Well, guess what?
Well, you're not going to get photos, Craig. You're going to get a video.
Yeah.
We're going the whole hog. We're getting video.
I love though that Craig says like we want photo evidence. As if I'm going to not eat it and then turn around and say I did. Where's the trust?
Yeah, they don't trust me.
I feel like Craig don't trust me.
I'm feeling that as well, mate. I'm feeling like they're calling you a liar, to be honest. Yeah. Horrendous. Malcolm,
at least I've got a trophy to prove that I was Clubman of the Year.
You were Clubman of the Year. The guy I share a lift to, Scott, Darren Rogers, who's my lift share to it. Do you know Darren?
Yeah, I know Darren.
He was Kitman. He told me all the story of when he was Kitman, obviously back in the league days, and how he got the job. he got the job. He used to go and watch them training because he lives local. So he used to go and watch them training down at Brown Westhead and all these sort of things, followed them around. Just he likes his football, does probably very much like yourself. So he'd go and watch the under 18s and that. And he got to know the players. And then one day, Jan Molby was at the time, came up to him and said, I got a job for you. Have you got a job? He said, no, what he was doing at the time wasn't relevant, I don't think. And he said, I got a job for you. And that's how he got the kitman's job, literally.
Yeah.
Apparently, Molby didn't like the person who was doing it. He said, don't come in on Monday. Come in Wednesday. I'm getting rid of him. And that's how he got the job as kitman and was full-time kitman till the full-time kitman role disappeared, pretty much. Because he knew all the players. And he's still very good friends with Bo Henriksen now. They're quite good mates. Yeah, that's how he...
Yeah, so one thing I want to say, though, and is I hope the guy that was kitman before Darren isn't watching.
That's right. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. I don't know who the kitman was. It was probably Cal. He was there with Kim Casey. Was there? Was it Cal Pearson? Wasn't it?
I have no idea.
No.
But if he was the washing machines and then he left, does that mean he was Cal gone?
Come on! Look at that excitement on his face. Look at that.
I've thought of a joke. Like, it's brilliant. I'm so chuffed for myself. It's unreal.
Look at that. That's amazing.
So let's get back though to the things. So Craig says awesome, but no sick though. I can't promise. It is what it is. But he does trust me. He says it just came across wrong. I believe you, Craig. Thousands wouldn't. John says, did you ever try a chocolate digestive biscuit by eating it with the chocolate side down? Apparently, it has been eaten the wrong way all my life. Chocolate side up for me. It's all to do with the taste buds on your tongue, which side it tastes first. I'll be honest, I've never really bothered with it. I've just picked it up and whatever way it is, it goes in.
But John, that they are the chocolate in manufacture. The chocolate is actually on the bottom of the biscuit in manufacture. So the chocolate isn't put onto the biscuit. The biscuits are laid onto chocolate. So the chocolate is actually on the bottom of the biscuit in reality. Obviously, none of us do that until you found out recently. But yeah, in manufacture, it's on the bottom.
There we go. To me, I don't know whether I've eaten them top or bottom. I'll just put them out of the packet and shove it in. But the thing is, when they're in the packet, I mean, I don't know, we open packets the wrong way because it's always the chocolate seems to be on the top.
And I think when the photographs are on the packet, the chocolate's on the top, isn't it? On the photograph on the packet. But yeah, I watched I don't know, it's a YouTube documentary about foods, things you didn't know about food, and that was one of them. Or things you didn't know about stuff, and that's where I get it from, John. I just got a head full of crap. I can't neither prove it or not prove it, but I'm led to believe because they put the biscuit on it's basically a huge trays of chocolate and the biscuits get put on sort of like that. So it's actually on the bottom of the biscuit. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so that's where I get it all from them. I get lost in these stupid little YouTube documentaries about stuff you didn't know you didn't need to know, which I now know. Yeah.
I used to watch sort of like how stuff's made. You should show how they made things. That was always quite interesting.
My favourite one of all those by a long shot, because I love the ice cream as well, is the Viennetta one. If you ever watch the Walls making Viennetta video, it's the most therapeutic thing in the world. And I have a dream of just lying at the end of the conveyor belt. But yeah, the Walls have got a video on YouTube of making Viennetta, and it's really therapeutic. It's just so amazing to watch. Yeah.
Well, and unfortunately, it's come to the end of the night, and I'm going to have to shoot because I've been caught short.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to make a move very shortly. Otherwise, there could be an accident. So, everyone, thank you. What a way to end the show, eh? What a way. Thank you, everyone, for joining us with myself, Scott, and, of course, that main man over there, Mr. Andy Leake.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody.
Who has now become the main man of the show. He's overtook me. I was the best for a while.
Yeah, we're a team, mate. We're a team by a long, long way. We're a team. One of us wouldn't look like the other. I know that for sure.
And that's what someone who's the best would say. And until next week, don't forget, every Monday. We're here from 7:30 p.m. Come and join us. Why not? As Stuff Now Stuff on a Monday is the. We'll see you soon.
See you later.
Ciao for now.